Let's be honest, cybersecurity teams are drowning. They are buried under a mountain of digital threats, and they're looking for a lifeline. So naturally, everyone's turning to AI. Today, we're going to dig in and see if AI can actually solve this massive overload problem.
Okay, I want to start with just a number. 28,818. So what is that? That's how many brand new unique software vulnerabilities, CVEs, were reported in just 1 year, 2023. Think about that. Each one is a potential crack in our digital armor, affecting everything from our phones to the entire financial system.
Now you're probably wondering, who's in charge of sifting through all of these threats? Well, at the U.S. National Vulnerability Database, the central hub for all this info, it's a team of just 21 people. No, that's not a typo. 21 experts trying to hold back a digital flood that's getting bigger every single day.
So to really get our heads around this, here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll look at the sheer scale of the vulnerability overload. Then we'll ask the big question, can AI be the hero? We'll dive into the ultimate AI test researchers cooked up, and then check out the AI report card. After that, things get interesting with a plot twist involving some vague clues, which leads us to our final question. Do we need better AI or better data?
Okay, let's jump right in. The vulnerability overload. This isn't just some abstract problem for tech nerds. This growing backlog of security flaws that haven't been looked at, well, it puts every single one of us at risk.
So how do analysts even begin to tackle this mountain of problems? They use a tool called a CVSS score. Just think of it like a Richter scale for security threats, running from 0 to 10. A low number is a tiny tremor. Maybe you don't even feel it. A 10? That's a catastrophic earthquake. This score is absolutely vital for companies to figure out which fires they need to put out first. But here's the grim reality of having just 21 people on the job. By the middle of 2024, that backlog had gotten so huge that less than 10% of the new vulnerabilities had actually been scored. That means security pros all over the world are basically flying blind. They have no real way of knowing which of the thousands of new threats are just minor annoyances and which ones are truly catastrophic. So, with the human experts just completely swamped, you have to ask the question, right? In this age of automation, can AI step in? Could large language models, the same tech that powers stuff like ChatGPT, be the hero we're all waiting for? Well, a group of researchers decided to find out. They didn't just guess, they designed what is basically the ultimate AI test. They put the world's most advanced AI models on trial to see if they could really do the tough, subtle work of a human cybersecurity analyst. And they brought in an all-star lineup. I mean, we're talking about the heavy hitters of the AI world here. Models from OpenAI, Google, you name it. This was a real battle of the bots to see if any of them were smart enough to crack the case. And the rules they set up were tough, but totally fair. The AIs were fed more than 31,000 of these text descriptions of vulnerabilities. For every single one, they had to predict 8 key factors that go into that final severity score. And here was the kicker: no cheating. They couldn't just go online and look up the vulnerability's ID. They had to actually reason it out from the text, just like a human expert would. So, the million-dollar question: how did they do? It's time to open up the AI report card and check out the good, the bad, and some stuff that was genuinely surprising. The final verdict wasn't a simple thumbs up or thumbs down. It was, well, a mixed bag. On some parts of the test, the AIs were amazing, super impressive. But on others, the improvement over just making a simple guess was surprisingly tiny. It's a much more complicated story than you might think.
All right, let's start with where the AI really shined. This chart is for a metric called user interaction. Basically, it's asking, does an attacker need to trick a person into clicking a bad link or something? A simple baseline guess gets this right about 63% of the time. Not bad, but look at the top AI, GPT-5. It soared to 89% accuracy. That's a huge improvement.
But then you look at where it struggled. This is for attack complexity. Basically, how hard is the hack to pull off? The baseline here, which is just guessing the most common answer every time, is already right almost 84% of the time. And GPT-5? It only nudged that number up to 84.6%. It barely made a difference at all.
So who was the valedictorian of this AI class? As you can see here, GPT-5 was the clear winner, with an overall accuracy of almost 79%. And yeah, that's a massive jump from the baseline of 57%. But let's be real, an accuracy of 79% isn't quite good enough to just hand over the keys to something this critical. There's still a lot of room for improvement. And this is where the story gets really fascinating. Because as the researchers started digging into why the AIs were making these mistakes, they found something they weren't expecting, a major plot twist. And it made them ask a new question. Are the AIs actually the ones to blame here?
This quote from the research paper just nails it. They found that the human-written descriptions the AIs were analyzing often omit crucial details. Basically, the AI was being asked to solve a puzzle, but a bunch of the pieces were missing from the box to begin with.
So it turns out the AI's mistakes are often just a mirror reflecting the messy data we give it. For instance, a description might say something vague like, arguments can be provided, but not say who can provide them, the user or the attacker. That one tiny detail changes everything. It's this kind of ambiguous language, plus missing info, and the AI's tendency to just guess based on past data that causes the errors. The problem isn't just the AI's brain, it's the clues we're giving it.
And that realization totally reframes the whole problem, doesn't it? The question stops being just, how can we build a smarter AI, and becomes something way more fundamental. Do we need a better AI, or do we just need better data for the AI to work with?
This slide lays it out perfectly. We've got two paths forward. We can keep running this race to build slightly better AI models, which will probably give us small, gradual improvements. Or we can focus on getting better at the human part, writing clearer, more detailed, less ambiguous vulnerability reports. And the study makes a powerful case that this second path, focusing on clearer human communication, is what will actually lead to a giant leap in the AI's ability to reason.
So the big takeaway here isn't that this is a story about man versus machine. It's not about AI coming to replace the human experts. The real future is a partnership, one where better, cleaner, more precise human communication is the key that finally unlocks AI's full potential to help us all stay safe online. And that leaves us with one last big idea to think about. Maybe the real key to making AI successful isn't in the fancy code we write for it, but in the quality and the clarity of the questions that we as humans ask it in the first place.